right. Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I haven't horribly just destroyed that. And I need to edit this so that we can see Rebecca's lovely face.
Or just the one I have.
Yeah. How do I do this? Okay, so theoretically this should work. There we go. You're in completely the wrong place, but I can move you around. That's fine. Here we go. So hello, Rebecca. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
So the good news I can give you up front is that Escape Velocity is already funded.
Yay!
So that's absolutely brilliant. People have been fantastic today. The Elite Dangerous community is the best. Yeah, we have already hit our first couple of milestones for the Patreon support, which has taken us up into lovely physical rewards for some of the backers. And also some behind-the-scenes stuff I'm going to do, and also it has forced me to put in another milestone. So I'm really hoping if we can get some more people supporting Escape Velocity today and over the coming weeks, that we will get to the next milestone, which is $720 per episode, which will enable me to commission some original artwork for the series, which we've never had before because I am rubbish at art and can't do it. So Rebecca, just share with me and the rest of the people watching Twitch a little bit of your memories of recording Escape Velocity.
So when I started recording it, we were doing it in the theatre group that you and I are both members of, and using the curtains as the sound buffers, and it was, you know, a bit of trial and error to start with, although obviously the scripts were amazing. And then eventually we moved into the purpose-built studio, which was brilliant. So it was quite a range of experiences, but it was something that was very new for me. I'd never done anything like that before, and I hadn't quite understood how things can be kind of edited and moved around. I mean, sometimes we'd record a scene with only one person there, and then when you listen to it, you think everyone was there having a conversation. It was quite the learning experience.
So can I just ask, I don't mean, you know, I seem to ask you this a lot when you're on webcam. What are you fiddling with right now? I'm checking.
Ask me what?
No, it's fine. It sounded like you were rustling paper in front of your microphone.
Oh no, sorry. I'm in an unusual setting. I'm on my mother's laptop, and when I turned it on a moment ago, it didn't even have Skype on it. Being you know, a middle-aged woman's laptop, so I've had to do some quick adjusting on it.
That's funny. Now, can you? I just want to do something as well, because we're talking. If we're talking about, oh dear, I've just broken the thing to it. Never mind. Can you see the Skype chat window? Can you see the text?
No.
You can't. Okay. Let me just type something, and I'll see if you can. I'll see if you can see that. Do you have like a little text
hang on.
window thing?
Yeah, something's popped up.
Oh dear, we're having Skype problems.
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Can you say that?
Probably not. Myola?
That's so funny.
Myola.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Stop laughing at me! Yeah.
Okay. So I've been doing, over the course of today, I've been doing a bit of a tour where I've been flying around in Elite Dangerous and looking at the locations that we kind of used for the story and what they currently look like now. And that is where I am currently landed. And I just, when Liam were talking, we were talking about some of the place names that really caused people to come unstuck in Elite, that we had to sort of record time and time again. And I can't, Jonas, I can't remember if it was you or Amy that we kept having to change Mila, because she kept saying Myola, and I kept saying, no, it doesn't sound like Myola, it sounds like Myola. It's like, how are you stuck in Myola? And it was just getting unintended laughs.
Yeah. That was Amy. I was Echidna.
Oh, but you just did it.
I know, right? I can do it fine now. You'll never get those like 3 hours of studio time back where you had to edit in me saying Echidna.
Yeah, it's true. So so obviously, well, I mean, I know that's what I need to work out, because obviously we've got Escape Velocity funded now, which means obviously you guys can get paid for coming and recording, which is brilliant. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm going to be paying for retakes based on saying echidna 15 times. I think that's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think if I rack up my own hours that I should get paid for that.
So I'm just gonna. What are we? I'm probably going to break things now by doing this. So I'm going to. Oh no, let's keep it on this. Let's keep it on that. So yeah. And in terms of. So I've been doing this since 12. My brain has completely gone to mush, as much as it wasn't already. So what are your kind of, so other than the kind of other than the mispronunciation things, and obviously the fact that we started off with the rehearsal, how did you find that process of, because like I say, you didn't know what was possible in terms of the audio drama and kind of making it work, but having done a lot of kind of stage acting, how did you find kind of just sitting there with a mic in front of you and kind of trying to talk to other people who are just sitting at tables with mics in front of them?
Yeah, it can be quite intimidating because it's all very close, whereas in the theatre it's all very much bigger, and you've got to make it bigger than even you would normally. And there is a certain element of that with the radio work, because you have to sort of compensate for the fact that you haven't got all of the other elements, all the visual elements. But of course, you've still got to make it then sound like realistic conversation. So I think you were extremely patient with us while we were trying to figure out how to do that. But it certainly was a different type of acting experience. But it was a really enjoyable challenge to do. Obviously, I'm rubbish at accents, so that was a problem. But but the actual difference between being on the stage and being in front of the mic was more dramatic than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are transferable skills there, but yeah, it was, and you wanted to be sort of, then obviously you could look at the person you were talking to, but it wasn't always set up in such a way that you can have a conversation physically as you would normally, and you've got to stay quite still and not rustle your papers, so it's quite difficult as someone who's been used to stage performing to kind of control all those physical reactions you'd normally have. Yeah,
no, that's cool. And that's one of the one of the things, because I think you'd maybe you'd not necessarily you perhaps not someone who's really listened to a lot of audio. I find, this isn't a criticism, I find a lot of people haven't listened to much audio drama necessarily. Was that your experience coming to it, that you didn't necessarily know what audio drama kind of should sound like, or did you? Or is that not a fair assessment? Did you?
No, not so much. Yeah, well, the difference for me was that it was a running series, because I do a lot of travelling around for work and things, and I do listen to Radio 4 a lot, which does have on quite often drama pieces, but I wasn't kind of an avid follower of any particular one, and to hear kind of characters brought through from one week to another, so the idea of doing it as a several series was a different experience for me. But I wasn't unfamiliar with the concept of radio dramas as a concept.
Okay, that's cool. Just saying, while I'm talking to you here, I'm going to, because I've been doing this guided tour of the Escape Velocity locations, and the next one we're going to is Semias, which I don't know, do you remember Semias?
Right. Yes, I do.
And we've realised that because of the way Frontier's map, Frontier Elite 2 that is, not Frontier the developer, Frontier Elite 2 had a very different map to the current Elite Dangerous, and despite the fact that when Thane was here at Neela, it was then just one jump to Semias, I've actually now got 200 light years to travel, which is going to take me a little while, so I'm gonna
yeah,
start
crack on, Jarvis.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in terms of are you much of a gamer particularly? Would you describe yourself as a gamer?
Oh, I would always be hesitant to do so, because I thoroughly enjoy gaming, but I my preference is things like platform gaming, which I know amongst true gamers might not be considered, might not make me a gamer as such. But I enjoy MMOs and, as I say, platform games the most.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's necessarily being down on platform games. If you'd said that you were like a massive gamer and people said like, "Oh, what was your favourite game?" like Candy Crush Saga, I think you might come in for a little bit of derision. Although I did have a funny moment with you, because we were talking about, we didn't know each other necessarily that well, and we were talking about Doctor Who. And you were saying that you had a favourite Doctor. And I was saying, "Oh, which one's your favourite Doctor?" And you said, "Oh, I don't want to say because you're like a real Doctor Who fan and I'll pick the wrong one." And I'm like, no. With all the Doctors, there are no wrong choices. And you said, "Oh, he's like an old man with white hair." And I went, "Peter fucking Cushing!"
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So I have to tread carefully with you now.
No, it's fine. It's funny what you were saying about me being quite patient with the recording, because one of the things I was very aware of is I thought when I was doing the recordings with you all, I thought I was being really kind of cheerful and really kind of supportive and very positive and kind of just doing stuff. And then when I came to listen back to the recordings and I heard my own direction over the microphone, I thought, God, I sound really grumpy. I sound like I'm really fed up with these people. And my experience of listening back to my own directing voice was really different to how I thought I was in the studio, because I didn't feel stressed out.
Well, I think we all experience that when we end up listening back to ourselves. But no, I'd only described it as professional and specific, which is what we needed. It was very helpful to have that kind of strong direction in a medium that most of us hadn't worked in before.
Yeah. So I just want to double check. I've got a message. It's quite an old message that says, "Do you know you're offline on Twitch?" If I could just have some confirmation from the chat room that I'm still alive, that would be excellent, because as far as I'm concerned, everything is still going out here. So I'm just looking up here Semi-S, which must have been Escape Velocity episode 3. And I'm just trying to work out where they travel to in Semi-S, because I want my journey to be nice and close. Okay, that's interesting. So, Semi-S, yes. Now, in Frontier, thank you very much, chat. I can see that I'm live. So this is the episode this is the episode where Thane and May travel to Semi-S. Now, they travel to a location called Anderton's Camp. Now, in Frontier, I actually can't remember which planet it was, but one of these planets here that I'm showing Twitch basically had a planet-side starport. So I think what we want to do is we want to find a world here, because we've established that the map between Frontier Elite 2 and Elite Dangerous is very different. So let's pick a location that we think Anderton's Camp could have been, or if someone is very eagle-eyed, they could actually find it in Frontier and tell me which of these planets was. But of course things have changed, and I don't remember which orbitals were above which stations, although Shoemaker City does sound very familiar. Let's head to Semi-S 3. Let's call it that. So I'm going to start jumping. I've lost my wing, of course, because I've been out of it for a while, and we are looking at... Oh, did I... Okay, you guys all saw me pick that as a destination, didn't you? I'm not making this up. Oh, well, never mind. I seem to have lost my my lock. Now, I haven't got my wing with me, so if I run out of fuel, I run out of fuel properly, so I'm going to need to make sure that I... Okay, so that's definitely locked. It's definitely locked. Yeah, there it is. I can see it. Okay, 20 jumps to Semi-S. So I'm just going to get on with that. So in terms of your, what are your sort of... I sort of asked Liam this, and it's a bit of an open-ended question, but we obviously are going to be making more Escape Velocity now because we are funded, thankfully, via the brilliant people who found the Patreon page yesterday and the people in following on Twitch today. So in terms of Season 3, do you have any kind of hopes for Season 3?
Oh, blimey. I don't know. It was always, the storylines were always so unexpected and better than I could have thought that they were going to be. That I don't really. I'm more excited about seeing what unfolds than anticipating what should follow. I think. It's just all very clever and probably beyond my ability to project, to be honest.
Someone's asking in chat, anyone know what happened to the live show? Which particular live show was that? I'll just ask. Yeah, so, but in terms of, like, I suppose, what I mean in terms of your involvement, in season 3. Now, obviously, you know, we killed Lorand off at the end of season 1, but nevertheless, you know, I would like you to continue to be involved. In terms of what you'd like to do, what would you like to kind of get out of I appreciate sort of I've sort of asked exactly the same question again, but in a slightly different way. You know, but in terms, like you say, in terms of that audio drama recording experience being very new to you and maybe it being kind of a bit bewildering and that sort of thing, but actually now with a bit more experience, is there anything you'd particularly like to come in and do?
Drive charging.
I mean, I'd certainly be very excited to be involved, but in relation to what I particularly want to do, I don't know, maybe Lorand would have a good twin, where most characters end up with an evil twin. Clearly she was quite a bit of a cow in the first place. So, yeah, nothing with too many accents. Unless you're able to teach me how to do accents.
Sorry, I just nearly crashed into the sun then. Okay, I've just had a bit of feedback that the game audio was not live. Actually, do you know what? That's because I didn't realise there was game audio. I thought the game had gone silent on me again. So apologies to that if you've been struggling to hear us over the sound of hyperdrives and things. Hopefully that should be much lower now. And if I try and play some music in a minute and it's really quiet, that's because I've now turned the volume and everything down. Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. I was just thinking that in terms of, you know, just in terms of your experience, whether you know, sort of feel like, I don't know, that's sort of a leading question, really, isn't it? Okay, and so in terms of your other acting, what you've been doing recently, you've been on stage recently, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, we did a variety show in September, which was brilliant, which was a range of things. It was called It's Showtime, and it was sort of celebrating theatre through the ages. So I started off saying I'd do a few bits and pieces in that, and ended up being in about 80% of it, I think. So lots of costume changes and lots of variety, but it was very, very good fun.
Okay, awesome. And I saw that show. And what did you do that was brilliant? Although I'm asking you to play your own trumpet, which is a horrible thing. But what did you do that was brilliant?
I presume you're referring to the ballet.
Yeah.
But I did. I attempted to do the Dying Swan on my point shoes, which I haven't done for about 10 years. So extremely sore feet, but it was extremely enjoyable. It was something that I loved doing when I was younger, and it was an absolute pleasure to be able to go back and try and do it again. No,
that's cool. Okay, well, I'm not gonna leave you floundering. I kind of, yeah, no, I'll let you get on because you're visiting family and stuff, and I don't want to keep you for too long. That's been fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us, Rebecca. I'm probably about to crash into a sun because I've
no problem. Thank you for having me.
Again. And thank you. I will look forward to chatting with you some more at another point and working out what we're going to do with more escape velocity. Oh.
Lovely. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, apologies if there were any drop-outy things there. Seem to be having a few problems there with Skype stuff, and actually Elite Dangerous seems to be taking a really long time to jump into this system. So I might be having one or two network problems. So hopefully everything is all right for you guys. I'm going to carry on the tour of Semias here. So the point at which we left the tour yeah, that was Mila, which maybe didn't look like it sounded in the series, because somewhere between Frontier Elite 2 and Elite Dangerous, the system of Mila has gained loads and loads of planets and a space station, which surprised me probably more than anyone. So we are now heading to Semius. Now, for those of you who were sort of following the story that I was... for those of you that was following the story that I was sort of recounting, so Thane had taken on this job, which was sort of completed or you die kind of stakes, and May had unfortunately chucked some of the cargo out of the back of the ship in an attempt to destroy an attacking assassin. So Thane has this problem now where he needs to get to Semius and deliver 2 tons of robots, and he has 1 ton of robots. So, so he's, for those of you who he's come up with this plan to try and find someone that can reverse engineer technology and build him a replacement shipment, which he hopes will kind of pass muster. So he still heads to Semius, and he's hoping that this is all going to work out. Actually, what I might do, because this is going to be quite a long jump to Semius, if Alan Stroud is still around, I might get him to jump on and talk music, if he wants to do that. I don't even know if he's still following the stream. He was there a minute ago. And we've got more things to go out. So I am gonna, I'm gonna be kind of being a bit selfish here, and while I'm making this journey, I'm going to be grabbing some exploration data while I go. Seeing as I'm flying all this way, I might as well get my rating up and earn a bit of money. Yeah, someone's saying while the jumps are slow, let's tweet the arse off the Patreon and get to the next tier. Yeah, that'd be really cool. So just to remind people what we're doing here today, we are celebrating all things Escape Velocity, and we are also funding Escape Velocity through Patreon link, patreon.com/Radio Theatre Workshop. Just to clarify, there is another podcast called Escape Velocity, which is about a completely different thing. I'm not saying don't back them, I'm sure they're lovely guys, but it's not me. There is also a Chris Jarvis on Patreon, that is also not me. So, yeah, it'd be really good if you want to support the series. Head to the links that are in Twitch or the links that are on screen. We have already hit our initial funding goal, so we are go to make more Escape Velocity, which is fantastic. And I just want to reiterate again just how fantastic you guys have all been in terms of getting behind this Patreon today. I really thought that the best I would get out of today is most of the way to the initial target, and what I would need to kind of keep pushing stuff on social media and marketing and through Lave Radio in order to get it done. But oops, oh dear. Okay, that's a live overheat. That is a live overheat. I am going to die. Whoops. I don't think I'd appreciated, because I was facing away from it, I don't think I'd appreciated how close I was to that star when I hit the hyperdrive. I think that's perhaps self-evident. So at some point on this trip between the 200 light years between Mila and Semius, I might be dropping off to a local space station to make some repairs. That's very unfortunate. This is what happens when you point yourself at a star to pick up the exploration data. So sorry, what was I saying before I so rudely toasted my ship? Yeah, just absolutely fantastic how far we've got on Patreon. We've already made it through the first milestone, which is actually bringing back the series. We've made it through the next milestone up from that, which is producing behind the scenes content, and probably I'll be doing live Twitch streams of actually editing scenes together. So what I'll need to look at is when you when I'm putting the scenes together, obviously I'll be looking for reasonably spoiler-free scenes that I can take you guys through the editing, because there's no realistic way of twitching, editing an audio. I listen to the stuff, I don't do it visually, I'm listening to stuff back and forth. So we'll be looking at doing that, and we'll hopefully get some cameras into the studio when we're recording Let me try and cool this ship down as quickly as I can. I don't actually have any heat sinks, so that hurt quite a bit. Let's see what damage we've got. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Oh, okay, so we've got a bit of a comment there in the Twitch. Frontier are currently aware of long jump times and they're trying to fix it. So, yeah. Someone's saying, can we have a Patreon for Animal Crossing Noir next? I'm not sure if the moment for Animal Crossing Noir hasn't passed. And I've also, there's this general problem at the moment. We were talking about it on Lave Radio the other night. Let me just bring the game audio back in for people that are just listening to me. So, yeah, there's this kind of issue at the moment online with Nintendo being kind of very unsympathetic about people who are doing Twitch streams or online content based on their kind of content. And it's putting a lot of content creators off. First of all, there was this thing a few months ago where Nintendo just jumped on any YouTubers who did like Let's Play videos of Nintendo games. Oh, thank you very much. That's a new Patreon popped up. Thank you very much, Chris Luke. That's fantastic. We are now on $605.50 per episode. And it makes things difficult because, you know, there are some YouTube creators out there that, you know, some of them have very few numbers of followers, and really just to kind of jump on people and say, well, actually any advertising revenue you create for your channel belongs to Nintendo is very harsh. And I know that Nintendo have backtracked on it now and come up with a kind of partnership scheme for streamers, but it sets a very unfortunate precedent. And there's been a couple of other issues in the last couple of weeks with specifically Japanese game companies jumping on kind of online streamers and sort of slapping them with copyright injunctions. And I think it just demonstrates that the culture for internet content and streaming is, I think, maybe very different in Japan, and they don't necessarily understand what's happening in Europe and America. And it would certainly put me off. Me personally, it would put me off creating any kind of online content, whether that be drama, fan fiction, streaming. There needs to be, I think, some better understanding about what's happening there. And I think there's a responsibility there for YouTube and Twitch as well to kind of set some rules and say, look, sharing game content isn't breaching copyright because you're not sharing something, you know, I've said this before, it's not like because I'm streaming Elite Dangerous, no one is going to watch my stream and think, well, that's it, I don't need to play Elite Dangerous now. You know, it's hopefully people watch these online streams and they think, I would really now like to go and play, you know, I'd really like to go and play that game. So that's kind of a bit of a hope I have. Looks like I've picked up a player in system. I'm not sure if this is one of you coming and joining us. Hey, thank you very much, Alan Stroud. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And that also helps. Ah, Dr. Toxic, it's you. Hello. And have I not friended you yet? You're not showing up as... Brilliant, thank you. You're not showing up as blue, so I guess you're not in my contacts list. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing Noir, thank you very much for anyone that does like those episodes I did. It's possible the moment for Animal Crossing Noir has passed, but I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. And, you know, in an ideal world, I'd really like to bring it back, but it'd be a very personal project. Let's see where we're going next. I might... I'm trying to work out... Oh, this is where I was going to... Was this where I was going to refuel? Okay, let's just sit here for a moment to refuel. Oh, sorry, Dr. Toxic. I've not... Oh, someone's saying blue is wing. This is what happens when you play in solo most of the time, is you forget how all the multiplayer elements of this game actually work. Yeah, I'm going to sit here and... Actually, do you know what? I'm not going to sit here and refuel because I need to go to a station and fix my ship. So I'm just going to head to Glashow City and repair some of my stupidity damage. And thankfully this one is not too far. Oh, hang on, I might possibly have a... I've got a wing invite. Yay! Welcome to the wing, Dr. Toxic. Fantastic. Oh, no, it's going to be a loop of shame. Sorry, it's because I was concentrating on something else. Or rather, a loop of correction. There we go. Right, let's get in here and fix the damage I've done. And refuel, seeing as this is a refueling stop anyway. And with a bit of luck... Oh. What's that? The best privilege I've ever had. Yeah, I'm not sure how many other people, you know, obviously we didn't have wings back in the Frontier Elite 2 timeline, but I'm not sure how many people would travel in convoy with Commander Thane and actually make it to their destination. He tries his hardest, but he doesn't seem to be the most popular guy. See, a little shout out to Dave Hughes, who's having to leave us from the chat. He's going to be coming back for the Elite RPG later, and in a change to what quite often happens, Dave is going to be playing his own game, and I am going to be having a stab at GMing.
Docking request granted.
Okay. Rule number 2, don't hold fire. That's great. It gives me a real buzz when people kind of... I know kind of I've posted pictures and stuff before, but it does give me a real buzz when people kind of quote lines from the show back to me, because I sort of think oh, I've met someone in game who has kind of listened to the show that I made, and it's a really nice moment. Have I just missed the door? This is what happens when I haven't got my head tracker on. Where's my head tracker gone?
Scan detected.
Ah, there we go. Right, I can see what I'm doing now. Right, where's that door gone? There it is. Yeah, I'm a massive advocate of the Ed Tracker. I really struggle. I use it basically all the time when I'm playing the game, and if I'm not wearing it, I really struggle to play this game without having the ability to kind of look around. I mean, I do switch it on and off. Yeah, I have sort of moments. I have sort of moments, you know, where necessarily I'm not using it, but actually just having it there, I just find absolutely brilliant. Let's get in here and try not to spoon it on the deck.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm being brought food. This is fantastic. So again, in another Lave Radio tradition, I am going to be sitting here and stuffing my face in a moment. So let's get repaired. Not too expensive. Thankfully, one of the things I like about having not really upgraded my ship to like a new and exciting one, what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to max out buying upgrades for the Cobra Mark III rather than necessarily progressing up through the ships. I don't know if that's a sensible approach or not. I still seem to suck at PvP, but at least it does mean that when my Cobra takes damage, it is pretty cheap to repair. So that's me refueled and repaired. Now let's just check there isn't anything hidden away in here. Let's just fix the ship integrity while I'm here. Okay, let's get back out there.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
So I don't know. Hopefully, Dr. Toxic is following me and maybe taking off. I don't know. I'll loiter and give him a chance to. Dr. Toxic, are you flying with me to Semius? Whee. Oops. Don't press that button.
Landing gear retracted.
Okie dokie, Toxic's coming with me. Lovely. Okay, right, where's this system?
Frameshift drive charging.
Hang on. Just going to drop that off. Let me make sure I've got these wing things enabled. Awesome.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay. We
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
I'm not sure. Thank you, Dr. I'm not sure what would happen if I tried to enable voice comms at the same time as doing the stream. Just point away from the sun for a moment while I deal with something. Okay, I'm going to bring Alan Stroud in. So Alan Stroud. Well, I'll wait till he's in. Hello, matey.
Hello, how you doing? You alright?
I'm good, How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not
Yeah?
too bad. Just back in from my my cousin's wedding, so
Okay.
up in Chester. So yeah, it was my weekend, and then chilling out to you for the last hour.
Ah, okay, cool. Cool. Let me see if I can. You're giving me a sort of lovely video here. Let me see if I can actually make it appear.
See if that works.
No. Oh, it's because Skype. How you hate me. Right. Let me drop out of. Oh, I can see sort of half of you. I want to drop out of hyperspace first, because otherwise I'm going to crash into this stuff.
Yeah.
So let me fix this now.
I've just turned off the Twitch chat because I was worried about it, ghosting through. So
Yeah.
So I've just dropped out of the Twitch chat. So
Well, I had been sort of previously hoping to share the Twitch chat on my sort of OBS scene, but sadly, for some reason that doesn't seem to be working. I don't really know why. So welcome. So for those of you, I say for those of you who don't know, there can't be many people that don't know this. But Alan Stroud, always been a huge supporter of the Escape Velocity series, composed loads of music for me, and worked with Frontier Developments on developing the sort of background and the lore for the game. So a hugely helpful person to have around when writing the previous Escape Velocity. It was quite good because obviously Alan was very good at being discreet about Frontier's stuff and kind of not sharing things that he shouldn't be sharing. But at the same time, I could wave stuff under Alan's nose that I was planning on putting in Escape Velocity, and sort of saying, "Should I put this in?" And he'd kind of go, yeah, that's fine, or no, don't do that. So it's like, okay. So it's quite useful not to include any terrible clangers that were going to be inconsistent with up-to-date Elite stuff.
as soon as we knew anything, of course, obviously there were still things as it went on that they threw in, and we went, what? But yeah, obviously we try and make it as consistent as we can.
Yeah. I've got an emergency stop already. I did not even have time after Hyperdrive to even throttle down. It just said, that's a Right, someone's saying they've been tempted by a node tracker, never seen one before, handy to see it in action. I will try and use it a bit more for you then, just to show what it does. Let me just try and fix.
Yeah, they're very good.
They're awesome.
I was going to say they're very good. I haven't had enough time to play Elite as much as I want to, but with the fact that I've got a really big tally up on the loft station now, which is sort of 50 50, 60 inches worth of television.
Yeah, yeah.
The ED tracker is very cool.
Yeah. What can I turn off that uses a lot of power that will help me cool down? I don't really want to turn either of those things off. Oh, never mind. I'll just suck it up. I'm on 54%. I'll probably survive. I'll jump to Super Cruise first to see if I was saying earlier, if I'd known that the align with target thing or the interdiction icon in Elite Dangerous was going to be called Escape Vector, I'd have called the series that. Because that's just free. That would have been free advertising every time anyone got interdicted.
Yeah,
tried to jump away from a star.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can change now, though.
No, I know.
I think you're locked in, unfortunately.
Options. Enable wing beacon. There we go. Yeah. No, it's cool. So yeah. So obviously you've been out and about doing stuff. This weekend, so I hope you haven't minded that I've been using some of your music to cover breaks in the Twitch stream.
I never mind you using my music. It is all fine. As I say, I've been up to this wedding. I'm working on a couple of books, a variety of other bits and pieces. It'd be nice to now that you've successfully got your episodes funded. It'd be nice to get back in the loft and do a bit more writing.
No, that'd be really cool.
Certainly had the sound library's been because the listeners won't know that I subscribe regularly to a magazine that gives me a DVD's worth of sound effects and samples and what have you every month, and there's about 6 or 8 months worth since I've written any music. So it'd be nice to go and explore through them, have a look, and see what bits and pieces might get used, Yeah,
that's really cool. And it'll be interesting to see as well thematically what comes up for Escape Velocity. Because for those of you who don't know, the process we had a really good process working together for Series 1 and 2 of Escape Velocity, whereby I just lost my navlock with Dr. Toxic. It's gone red. We slow down and see if he catches up. We had this really good process where, because it was obviously before really you'd started composing stuff for Lave Revolution, because there's a certain amount of crossover between the Lave Revolution music and the Escape Velocity music. So Alan hadn't done any music sort of up to that point for Elite Dangerous, and I think I'm going to need to just go. And it was quite good because things would come up in an episode and I would sort of say, well, look, we've got this situation in the story and this is what it'd be like in the game. And then Alan would go away and would compose something that was sort of related to